UNDP is proud to be a co-organizer of the Africa Economic Conference. This year we talk about industrialization. We recognize it as a development accelerator for the continent. Yesterday we had a fascinating discussion around the question of value chains, regional value chains. And UNDP is drawn to this conversation because we believe in the regional value chain's power to democratize the space of who can participate in Africa's industrialization. You know, it's interesting what came out of this discussion, because the first thing we see is that Africa is industrializing. And the narrative is critical because it tells you there's something happening which we must build on. Now, what is happening is also interesting in Africa because it is not your typical agriculture problem, for example. You're talking about agriculture, but also manufacturing, as well as services. We heard from some African countries that are moving in that direction. But the second outcome is that what is happening is not enough. It's not deep enough, it's not wide enough. And therefore, diversification is critical. How do we get there? And this is the third thing, that governments have a critical role to play in bringing industrialization center stage and in making it work through issues like policy, financing, infrastructure. All of that is critical. The fourth piece is that private sector has to really drive. Now, where do they position for Africa's industry? And this is where an important report by UNDP becomes critical with the AFCFTA Secretariat, because what it does is talk about the value chains for Made in Africa. Everything from automobiles to pharmaceuticals to vaccines to leather and leather products to clothing is available in this AFCFTA. And so we heard that there is a promise. We heard that it must be actualized. How do you actualize it? By positioning to produce for the One Africa market. And most importantly, by making sure that women and young people are at the heart driving this initiative.